It's March 17th, 1987. Raj sits alone in his apartment in Mumbai, thinking. His parents are retired, but his father's pension can't even cover the essentials. For the last 3 years, he's also been seeing a woman in secret. He wants to marry her, but in traditional families like hers, he has to show he can provide, and her parents are already looking for potential grooms. Raj graduated from college a year ago, but he hasn't been able to find a job with a respectable salary. He needs a real future, and he needs it fast. Every day, he looks at the classified ads in the newspaper hoping for something. And this morning, he finds it. Wanted. 50 dynamic graduates for the posts of intelligence officer and security officer post. On 18th March 87 at the Taj Intercontinental Hotel. An open position in India's Central Bureau of Investigation. To Raj, this is the perfect opportunity. In India, a government job is the closest thing to a guaranteed future. So he writes down the address. Little does he know, he's about to sign up for one of the most incredible heists in the country's history. On the morning of March 18th, Raj heads to the Taj Intercontinental just like the ad said. But when he arrives, he's redirected to a nearby office building called Mittal Towers, where the interviews are actually being held. He makes his way there with 150 other men of around his age, also with little work experience. While he waits to be called in, he finds out that some of them already have jobs in the government. They're just looking for a more prestigious position. Getting this job won't be easy. After some minutes, Raj is called into an office where a tall, well-built man with sharp eyes and a commanding voice introduces himself as Mohan Singh. He is exactly what Raj imagines a CBI officer would look like. Mohan asks Raj about his family, education, and his attitude for sensitive national work. He answers every question while sweating, knowing that this was a chance he can't afford to miss. One by one, candidates walk in and out of the office. Some leave, but around 30 men are asked to stay, and so is Raj. This is a good sign. After half an hour, Mohan exits the office and announces who he's chosen. After careful consideration, we have selected 26 of you for positions in the CBI. Selected for the position of intelligence officer in the CBI, 23, Rahul, 24, Amar, 25, Raj Rathod. He's in. Mohan tells the unselected candidates to leave and calls the rest back into the office. Congratulations and welcome to the CBI. Gentlemen, as intelligence officers and security officers working for the country's premier investigative agency, it is our job to uphold the Constitution and the law through honest, in-depth investigations. Am I clear? Yes, sir. I want all of you to assemble at the Taj Continental at 11 a.m. tomorrow for further instructions. You can leave now. Get a good night's rest as tomorrow will be a busy day. As Raj leaves the hotel and heads back home, he's proud of himself and excited for his first day at the CBI. In the 1980s, India was operating under the Gold Control Act of 1968, a law that was introduced after a border dispute with China drained India's gold reserves. The act banned citizens from importing gold or even owning it in the form of bars and coins. All gold had to be converted into jewelry and declared to authorities. Licensed dealers could possess a limit of 2 kilograms of gold depending on the number of artisans, while goldsmiths were restricted to just 100 grams. The Indian government did this because it needed its currency to remain stable in order to develop the economy. But the Gold Control Act had some interesting consequences. Almost overnight, gold smuggling became a profitable business, and a massive black market emerged. It's estimated that, at the time, somewhere between 30 and 70% of all gold circulating in India was contraband. The government had to respond to this crisis. Gold control officers employed by the CBI conducted frequent raids on jewelry establishments where they checked for adulteration of gold purity, possession of unlicensed gold, and exceeding the quantity limits imposed by law. Since the act went into effect, practically every jewelry store in India had experienced at least one raid. To one particular man, this was a golden opportunity. On the morning of March 19th, Raj and the other 25 recruits gather outside the Taj Intercontinental, where Mohan is waiting with a luxury bus. He gives each of them their official CBI identity card with their photograph, name, and the government's Ashoka insignia. In the bus, he stands in front and makes an announcement nobody is expecting. Good morning, gentlemen. This is your first day on the job. I trust all of you are excited and ready. We've decided to begin your training with something unconventional. You will join me on a live raid. Mohan explained that the CBI had received complaints about discrepancies in the quality of gold being sold at several jewelry shops across Mumbai. The new recruits' training would consist of going to each one of these jewelry stores, starting with one of the most prestigious. In 1987, the TBZ brand was a symbol of wealth in Mumbai. The TBZ brand had 120 years of history and several locations throughout the city. Among all the locations, the Opera House branch is one of, if not the most impressive, and it's just a 10 to 15-minute bus ride from the Taj Intercontinental Hotel. The Opera House branch has a high-end showroom with premium pieces valued at around 2.5 to 3 million Indian rupees, worth around $430,000 to $520,000 in today's money. Because of the concentration of wealth in the area, CBI raids were commonplace, so Mohan said this would be a good way to give the recruits some on-the-job training. He gives some more instructions and reminds the recruits that anyone who fails to follow CBI protocol will be expelled from the program immediately. At 2 p.m., the bus departs toward the Opera House district, and 15 minutes later, Raj is standing just outside the TBZ location with a briefcase in hand, ready for his first test as a CBI officer. The security guards outside the jewelry store are shocked by the sudden arrival of so many men and immediately stand in front of the doors. But before they could even ask any questions, Mohan flashes his CBI badge, informs them that this is a raid, and asks them to hand over their weapons. The guards comply immediately. Inside the store, Mohan announces that this is an official CBI raid and that no one is allowed to leave until it's over. He points to different locations around the showroom, instructing the recruits to spread out. When the store's owner, Pratap Zavidi, approached him, Mohan showed him a search warrant. The owner objects that there must be a mistake, but seeing the amount of agents already inside and the documents, he has no other choice but to do whatever Mohan says. Mohan explains the protocol. Until the raid is finished, all security cameras must be turned off, every phone must be disconnected, and he'll temporarily confiscate the store's licensed revolver. Reaching into his bag, he pulls out a bundle of polythene bags and slips with government seals and tells the owner that they'll collect some samples from the store to test for purity. He also directs one of the recruits to gather all the cash from the counter. He explains to the owner that the CBI needed the money and a list of the sales over the last year would be needed for documentation purposes. They would all be returned with the official receipt. Over the next 45 minutes, Raj and the rest of the team move the store's jewelry from the showroom into their suitcases. Once enough samples are collected, Mohan tells Raj and another recruit to load the briefcases onto the bus. When they returned, he gathers the entire group and makes yet another announcement. I need you to stay in this store and keep watch. I need to supervise another raid in the area. I'll be back once the other business has been taken care of. Am I clear?" Mohan says he'll be back in 1 hour with the official receipt documentation. He leaves the store, boards the bus, and drives away towards central Mumbai, leaving Raj and the rest of the agents there, making sure that nobody breaks the protocol. That was the last time any of them saw Mohan Singh. The jewelry store owner sat there for more than 1 hour waiting for a receipt. Thankfully, today, your clients don't need to wait. Thanks to our sponsor, Odoo, you can create a professional invoice in seconds and send it to your clients the moment a transaction is complete. Start by choosing your client from the database and add the products or services you're charging for. Then you just need to change the colors, drop in your logo, and add your business details only one time. You can add payment terms and conditions directly within the invoice. You don't need to worry about calculating taxes. Odoo does it automatically based on your location and product type. When you're done, just hit send. Your client gets a secure portal link and can pay online using the method they want. They can use credit cards, bank transfers, or digital wallets. Odoo will also help you track what's outstanding with clear due dates and automates polite payment follow-ups so you don't have to chase anyone down manually. All the communication stays attached to the invoice in a chat-style thread, so every reply is logged right on the document. You'll never have to search through emails trying to remember who said what. The best part is that your first app is free forever. You'll get unlimited users and instant access without having to add another credit card. Click the top link in the description to try Odoo invoicing today. Now, back to the story. The 26 agents, the staff members, and the customers waited inside the store for more than an hour. Eventually, the customers inside started asking if they could leave, but none of the agents knew what to answer. As time passed by, the agents lost control over the situation until the owner told a staff member to contact the Mumbai police, and the dispatcher told him that no CBI raids were scheduled in Mumbai that day. It was the worst answer he could have hoped for. When the Mumbai police arrived at the jewelry store, the owner explained what just happened. The lead investigator on the case was Arvind Inamdar, who would later rise to become Director General of Police for Maharashtra State. He watched the security camera footage from the moments before they were turned off, but the quality was too low. He couldn't find any unique marks, distinctive features, or information that could separate Singh from the millions of other men in Mumbai. The police began to look for any physical evidence that could lead them to the place where the documents were made, but they didn't find anything useful. The only real lead inside that store were the 26 young men who believed that they were being trained to be CBI agents and missing jewelry worth around 3 million Indian rupees at the time, around $520,000 today. Without any more leads, the police tried to track Singh's escape route. They started at his last known location before the raid, the Taj Intercontinental. When they described Mohan to the staff, they confirmed that someone matching his description had just checked out of room 415 and asked the bellboy to call a taxi at around 3:30 p.m. Inside the room, there were no fingerprints or any leads. So, the officers asked the hotel's taxi drivers which driver had picked Mohan up, until eventually, they were able to find him. Mohan's taxi driver told police that he had taken a man with the same description as the suspect to a residential suburb in the north of Mumbai called Villeparle. At around 4 p.m. when he arrived, he had asked for help moving a large number of briefcases and given the driver a large tip. The investigators drove to Villeparle and began questioning people who may have seen him. One auto rickshaw driver in the area recalled driving a man of Mohan's description into the city, but in Mumbai, it's easy to get lost in the crowd. After 90 minutes of the heist, Mohan Singh simply disappeared. Without any remaining clues, the Mumbai police offered a substantial bounty, including a sketch and description of Mohan. The sketch showed a man about 5'6" tall, dark complexioned, with glasses and a calm, articulate manner. The city responded with hundreds of tips from people who had seen someone similar at different locations, but whenever the police investigated them, they were all dead ends. But there was one lead worth following. When police combed through the Taj Intercontinental Hotel's records, they found that Mohan claimed to be from Trivandrum in Kerala, a city located around 1,050 kilometers to the south of Mumbai. So, late in March of the same year, an entire police team was sent there. The investigators worked with local authorities, interviewing people and showing Mohan's sketch to everyone they could. After some days, they found and arrested a man who matched the description. His name was George Augustine Fernandez. George was taken to Mumbai for further interrogation over multiple days. The police called witnesses who had seen Mohan, but not a single one of them could actually confirm his identity. The police kept investigations going until they found out who George Fernandez really was. He had committed minor burglaries in the past, like pickpocketing and shoplifting, but he didn't have anything to do with the Opera House heist. After a few weeks, he was released. Trivandrum turned out to be just another dead end, but Mumbai's investigators had one more theory. At the time, Dubai was a common destination for smuggled gold and one of the world's largest black markets for contraband jewelry. For a thief with 3 million Indian rupees worth of shiny rocks, it was the perfect place to cash out. Between April of 1987, Mumbai police sent a team to the UAE. The Dubai authorities supplied a list of locations of common networks for jewelry and gold smuggling. Investigators spent weeks in Dubai visiting gold traders and jewelers, but no one remembered their clients. Every transaction was made in cash, and there was no trace of any stolen jewelry. After a few weeks of ongoing investigation, the search in Dubai didn't lead to any important advancement. But back in Mumbai, the investigation showed that this operation wasn't Mohan's first attempt. In October of 1986, just some months before the heist, an ad also appeared in the Times of India. Back then, the CBI had received a tip about the suspicious advertisement and agents were sent to the hotel. By the time the agents arrived, around 150 candidates were already leaving because the interviewer never appeared. The agents questioned hotel staff, examined the guest registry, and concluded that this was nothing more than a failed recruitment scam. But this was just a rehearsal by Mohan before making the real operation, to see how the police and the hotel would react. This suggested that he wasn't a common criminal. He knew what he was doing, and he was probably well connected. Knowing this, the lead investigator called every informant in Mumbai's underworld and began asking questions. He wanted to know if there were any new major gangs or secret deals related to jewelry. The informants gave names and new tips, but when the police investigated, not a single criminal in Mumbai knew about the raid protocols or the operation at the Opera House branch. Mohan Singh knew the exact raid procedures to follow and the exact CBI documents to falsify. They were so good, in fact, that they looked like originals. Some people theorized that he could be a rogue CBI agent, but when investigators tried to find him within the organization, even retired agents, even in every other government agency, nobody fit the description. After months of work, the Mumbai police were baffled. There were no networks to infiltrate, no associates they could pressure, no leads to follow, no fingerprints, no family, no history. The most incredible heist in India's history had been the work of a single man, and no one knows who he is. The TBZ Opera House heist became one of the most famous robberies in India. After the heist went public, jewelers across Mumbai realized that official identification and government seals weren't enough. Within weeks, jewelry shops had installed new cameras and phone lines with dedicated lines to CBI headquarters. The staff members were trained to ask for badge numbers and wait for confirmation calls. Some shops even kept photocopies of real CBI identification cards behind the counter for comparison. This heist alone pushed the entire jewelry industry to tighten its security. It also inspired movies and even several heists that tried to copy it, where criminals impersonated Indian authorities, presented fake documentation, and exploited standard procedure and left before the victims knew that they were robbed. After 3 years of investigation, no new leads were found, and the case was marked as unsolved. Even if a suspect was discovered, there's no evidence that could directly tie him to the heist. For years, Mumbai's police waited for Mohan Singh to resurface. A con this bold they believed couldn't possibly be a one-time performance. They were wrong. He never struck again, at least not that anyone knows of. Whoever Mohan Singh really was, he didn't just get away with the heist, he got away with the mystery.